Hey guys, so Chelsea has been asking me to put this on the blog for like a year or maybe more, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So basically, what this is it's a smoothie shake substitute thing that I've kind of occasionally turned into a protein shake. I'm not a protein shake person per se, right? Like I'm obviously not a weightlifter or any of those types of things. But basically, what happened is I love chocolate shakes, especially chocolate malts. Like I'm wild about them, and they're really, really, really unhealthy. And so I still have one once in a while. I'm probably down to having one, like once a year or something at this point. But sometimes I get to the point where I'm just like kind of craving the malty, chocolatey flavor of a chocolate malt, which is really good. And so what I started doing is I said, okay, there's got to be a way to make this that I can have on a more regular basis without feeling guilty about it. And so I took frozen bananas and Hershey's unsweetened cocoa powder, malt powder, and almond milk, and I used that to make a kind of a substitute chocolate shake, and it was really good. If you like bananas, not everybody does. I love bananas, and so I didn't mind having that banana flavor in there. Obviously, bananas and chocolate, natural combination. Bananas and peanut butter, natural combination. So I started kind of playing with that idea, and I ended up adding peanut butter to it. I ended up adding coffee to it because everything tastes better with coffee in it. You'll notice we have coffee. I have coffee in my overnight oats. We have a coffee covered burger on our blog. So I mean, just coffee. It's like bacon, right? It makes everything better. So anyway, so started doing that, kind of making variations on it, and then I realized that it was also something that I could drink when I was done working out. So you finish a good cardio workout, and you need some protein right in your body, and I would add a little bit of protein powder to it. And so at that point, you're talking about a combination of maybe, and some of these things come and go depending on what I've got in the house at any given point in time. But it might be unsweetened cocoa powder, malt powder, a little bit of peanut butter, some protein powder, again, bananas, almond milk, and some coffee. I realize that some of you that probably sounds like a disgusting combination, and if it does, then move on, right? But for me, it's delicious. I love it. It tastes like a chocolate malt. It's got that peanut butter and coffee flavor to it, which I really, really enjoy, and it's just really good. So that's kind of what I end up doing here. Now, one thing that we've just discovered recently is this PB Fit peanut butter powder, and it's also got protein in it. And so one thing that you can do with this instead is you can actually not have to add the unsweet cocoa powder or the peanut butter, and you can just add some scoops of this as a chocolate variant and a regular one. I was really skeptical when we got this stuff. This is not a sponsored post. We did get a sample to try, and I was really skeptical. I was like, how can you have? I mean, I love peanut butter. I like natural, just ground from peanuts peanut butter. And I was like, how can it taste good, right? If you mix it up in water, it does taste good. I won't go so far as to say it tastes like real peanut butter, but it definitely has a peanut butter flavor to it, and it works really well. In this particular context, though, as far as just putting it in a smoothie, it's awesome. Really, really, really good. Just threw some in there instead of protein powder or instead of peanut butter, and it's really good. It's lower in fat, etc., etc. So what I'm going to show you here is how to make this. It's super, super simple. The things that you would have to kind of keep around are some frozen bananas and some coffee in the fridge, which obviously you could eliminate the coffee if you didn't want it, but I really like it. What I always do with this, this is something tip I picked up from my little brother, is when there's coffee left in the pot at the end of the day, instead of throwing it out, I put it in a little jar and put it in the fridge. It would be disgusting to drink, but adding it to things that actually taste pretty good. So not a bad way to go. Thanks, Joey. So frozen bananas are nasty, right? There's just no way around it. You put them on a tray and you put them in the freezer so that they kind of freeze individually, and put them in a bag, and they kind of won't all stick together a little bit, but they're always going to stick together somewhat. In this case, we had some that kind of started to melt and then refreeze, and so we switched freezers, and so it's kind of this like lump of frozen bananas. It's not appetizing. It'll get ground up, so it doesn't really matter that much. Obviously, you could do this with a blender. I'm going to do it with the NutriBullet for two reasons. One, normally I'm just making this for me, and so the NutriBullet's the easiest way to do it. Two, our blender is broken, so we are currently blenderless at the moment. So even if I didn't want to use the NutriBullet, I wouldn't really have a choice. But the NutriBullet is actually awesome when you're just making a smoothie for one person. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna need bananas. Let's see if I can free up a couple of these that aren't completely stuck to each other. There we go. A couple bananas. Maybe need a little more banana than that. It's basically you want like one whole big banana. I would say maybe you could maybe get away with like a banana and a half if you're super into bananas. But otherwise, it's like one whole big banana. So we cut these in half when we freeze them. So that's like one-ish bananas. I'm gonna set aside the unappetizing bananas. And let's see. So then on top of that, so I'm not gonna use the unsweetened cocoa powder, and I'm not gonna use the natural peanut butter because I'm gonna use the PB Fit. But these are other things that you could use. It doesn't have to be natural peanut butter. If you want to use the sweet stuff, you can do that. But natural peanut butter is amazing. And I'm like not the kind of person that loves natural anything. I'm always kind of inclined not to buy things when I see they're marked organic and what have you, which is stupid, by the way. That's just me being rebellious. But natural peanut butter is amazing. It's like just ground up peanuts. You can't beat it. So some PB Fit. Throw that in there. A couple tablespoons of that stuff. And we're gonna do some almond milk and some coffee. I don't usually measure this stuff out. Obviously, when we put this in the post, I will come up with measurements for you. I'll figure out kind of what I'm usually using. If I had to guess right now, I'd say it's like a half a cup or a cup of almond milk. And of course, I mentioned about the bananas and the other stuff. The coffee, just a couple tablespoons, maybe a quarter cup. I don't know. It's not really to get you all caffeinated. It's just to add some caffeine flavor. Not caffeine flavor. Yeah, who knows what caffeine tastes like? Coffee flavor. All right, so NutriBullet. If you haven't used one of these before, that's easy. You just put this thing on top and you twist it. Okay. With something that's liquid heavy, it's going to blend really fast, which is nice. Depending on how thick you want this, you can add more banana. That'll make it thicker. If you want it thinner, kind of easier to drink, then you can keep it like this. But you can see there, it's kind of got a shake consistency to it, which is what I'm going for. And then if you're Chelsea, then you're going to want to put a straw in it, which I'm going to do for her. But I would never use a straw because I don't really like straws. It's just not my thing. Actually, I'm not going to drink out of the straw. It's really good. So, tastes a lot like a chocolate shake. Definitely has a banana flavor, so you got to deal with that, right? There's banana there for sure. But you definitely get the chocolate, you get the peanut butter. It's really, really good. So for me, this is a great post-workout dessert, or when I'm just like craving a chocolate shake, which